We got Brian, brother Shannon. We got coast to coast. We represent two Midwesterners in the house. Me and Smokes from it's not Smoke, but brother Shannon. He's from Ann Arbor, or they call A2 or Double A, Michigan. We got Brian.
Oh,
The
he's from
Deuce.
Brady.
The Deuce.
The
He's
dude's right.
from
That's what
Brady country.
Oh, Brady from Ann Arbor?
No,
Well, he's from
Michigan.
California,
Michigan.
but he went to Michigan.
Oh, okay, cool. Right. Well, I know he went to Michigan, but yeah. Okay, cool. We got the
Yeah, he's
team
from
up in the house, y'all.
Yeah. Brady's a beach bum.
Oh, yeah, Beach Bum. Yeah. Hey, man,
Yeah,
what's the other
Brady's
cat
a
name
beach
from
bum.
Stanford? What was his
Good
name?
dude, though. Good
Yeah,
dude.
Brady, man, one of the greatest of all time, whether you like him or not. I
So,
mean,
Chrissy.
he's not the most ethical person, but he's definitely a hell of a football player. You know what I mean?
You know, and I
Go ahead.
I try to hold people for who they are. You know, and he's a great quarterback. I think he's probably got some questionable shit out there, but you know, I've only ever really known him to be like a quarterback, so I don't really fuck with him and his political views and all that shit. You know, sports is entertainment to me. It's not political like that. You know,
right? Same.
I mean, until it gets like that, but you know,
right. You know what? Smoke. I'm sorry, not Smoke. I keep calling you Smoke. I don't know why. Shannon. I learned a long time ago to separate the art from the artist. I learned that a long time ago, man. You know
absolutely.
What I mean? Yeah.
I mean, that's why people don't understand like my rants right now I'm having with Lizzo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ranting about Lizzo, but I'm trying to protect Melissa Jefferson. There's a difference.
I don't know who is Melissa Jefferson.
That's what Lizzo's government name is.
Oh, okay, I got you. I like Lizzo. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Lizzo is the artist who I believe is detrimental to Black culture. But Melissa Jefferson is the Black woman that I was put on this earth to protect. And I know she's being exploited in so many different ways, you know, from her record company to the LGBTQIAP to, you know, just white society in general. She's elevated by gay white men. That's who she's elevated by.
Even people that are on that side don't even know what the extra letters stand for.
That's the thing. Tony didn't believe me until I inboxed Tony the flag, the LGBTQIAP flag. He didn't believe me that it existed. Hell, I know gay people that didn't believe me. I was like, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the gay people I know, I ask them like, what is A+, this, and they just said, they
don't know.
All of them told me, they said, it's all the younger generation just going crazy with the shit. He goes, we keep it basic, just like you know it, and we just keep it that way. It's simple. And I'm like, thank you.
Another thing y'all got to keep in mind is all the people that's part of the LGBT plus community. I'm calling plus. I'm not saying all them damn letters. So LGBT plus Q plus community, they not all on the same page. Some people,
no, they're not.
Some of the regular, or what I mean by the people that just identify as just gay, they got an issue with transgenders not wanting to transition to an actual whatever they want to be. For example, a man to a woman. You don't want to get the surgery, but you want to call yourself. Some of them got problems with that. It's just the media is very strategic on not putting a highlight on those type of people. They want you to think it's all these people that's triggered, all the triggered people in the movement and all that type. They not all on the same page. You know what I mean?
Wait. So A is asexual. You mean to tell me that they're just like they're amphibians? Like they can have a male and a female gender in like all at the same time, like they're amphibians.
Well, hold on.
I mean, I understand bisexual. You just flip a coin, decide which sexuality you want to be for the day. I get the bisexual, but asexual. Last I know that asexual is that it's a reptilian amphibian that has both genitalia.
Okay,
I grew up.
I think that's more of a hermaphrodite. But go ahead, Shannon.
I grew up that asexual was you didn't like either.
Right. Just like let's just break down what A means. Like apolitical, that means neutral. That's all it means.
Well, okay. Asexual is someone who's not attracted.
Yeah, you don't prefer either.
Yeah, because the A is like absent. A is for absent because, like in the medical terms, you got you got a abstraction and all this stuff. All with the A's it means like absent. So
right.
It's called intersex now. They don't use the word hermy.
Hermaphrodite.
No, they don't use that anymore. They don't, just like they don't use transvestite.
Okay, well, transvestite and transsexual, for what I learned, is not the same thing anyway. A transvestite don't have to be particularly a person that's gay or a part of that. They just like to express themselves through dressing that way. That's what I've understood what a transvestite. And a transsexual is a person where I think they mainly focus on the sexual or the part that relates to sex, whereas a transgender, they just want to.
You up out of here?
Beautiful. I understand trans is this. Trans means
we gotta double it up.
Like you're all the way through, like thorough. Transparent, transgression, it's thorough. So everybody's kind of like losing context of this shit.
Well, I mean, the easiest way to combat that is just look at the actual definition of something. Before you say anything, know the def. Like, I can't stand when people say they'll call me, because I don't necessarily agree with all the. I don't get into going into people's closet, coming out of their closet. They don't got nothing to do with me. I respect you as a person. You do whatever you want. It ain't none of my business who you sleep with, what you want to change to. I just don't understand why so much emphasis put on it. That's what my issue is.
It's like I was like, live your life how you want to live it, but don't cram that shit down my throat and make me like don't force feed me the shit.
But hold on, Brian. So I hate the term, and this is why we need to focus on definitions. I hate when people call me a homophobic. First of all, the phobia is a fear. I'm not scared of too much shit on this planet. The only thing I'm kind of scared of is airplanes, because I can't control my life inside of a plane. Other than that, there's not too many things I'm afraid of. So the whole thing about a phobia, I'm not afraid of homosexual people. You know what I mean? I just not that I just don't agree with what they're doing. That's all.
Yeah, so somebody on my Snapchat was like they were on the assumption that I was home. They were under assumption. What's going on, guys? They were under the assumption that I was homophobic. I said, how am I? I'm like, I'm not scared of gays. I was like, gay men, they entertain me. I find them funny because of the mannerisms, the way they talk, the way, it's entertaining to me. It's funny. I have nothing against it. I've worked with a lot of them and we all get along. They take jabs at me for being a mixed breed. I take jabs at them for being a part of Skills Clan, but we all laugh about it. No lines have been crossed. You know, we all know where not to go, but I mean, but we joke around with each other and stuff like that. So, but
hold on, Brian,
they're the same thing.
Hold on, let me intro everybody. Man, we got everybody in the building here. Charles represent North Carolina. He's fresh and new on our show. Frida, also from Ann Arbor, or what y'all call it, the Deuce, right? We got Tony up in the house with the son. Tony, we're gonna get a little explicit. I don't know if this is the show.
No, I'm trying to get him to go to bed. He's trying to see what I'm doing.
What's up, little man?
I said,
hi. House, man. What's up,
ladies and gentlemen that do not know, Tony D is the fill-in for the Las Vegas shows for Barry Manilow.
Watch your mouth, Junior.
Is that like a thing y'all got going on Michael stuff or something? This is the 10th time I done heard that this week. What is this Barry Manilow stuff about?
They be hating on me, man. That's all it is too. They be hating on me, man.
Yeah, because it's like, don't you know that? Yeah, you know.
Okay, so this is how we're gonna do it, y'all. Get everybody time to talk, because there's a lot of us on here, but I'm trying to govern it as good as possible. Give everybody at least, when the prompt is introduced, give everybody at least a minute to finish before you cut them off or whatever. If you don't, after the minute, I'm gonna cut mics, because we can't let it get all over the place. I love all y'all, but we gotta have some structure, because I like what Tony and them did yesterday, but it was just too many good points I was trying to listen to got cut off because it was two people on there being impatient. I'm not gonna say their names. They know who they are. It was people being impatient, and if everybody talking, ain't nobody talking. So we gotta have some structure, y'all. That's all I ask. Don't cut people. Let them finish their point. Now, if they going on too long, that's when I'm gonna say something, because I'm controlling the show. I'm not gonna barely say anything. I'm just gonna mediate. When I have shows like this, it's easier for me to mediate it than actually talk. I'll say something here and there or whatever. All y'all are three different passionate brothers. All three of y'all smart. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invited y'all on. The only other person I invited is Smoke. Smoke may or may not get on, but Smoke is the only other person. So we're gonna try to keep it as structured as possible. Because Tony, what I did was lovely, man. It just wasn't no structure to it. You know what I mean? And that's cool. You can run your show however you want to. I'm just saying in situations like that, you gotta have a mediator. Because there was so many good points that didn't get finished because everybody was talking all over each other. And I ain't cool with all that. So that's all
I ain't gonna do it on yours. I'm good. Run it. I'm good.
Shannon, did you want to follow up on anything Brian said a minute ago about the LGBT stuff there?
Well, I wanted to follow up on what you said and what you get. And it is about the LGBTQIAP. And
the alphabet soup of the Skittles community. That's the way I call it.
When people tell you that you have a fear, see, I'm about the words. Tony, can your kid hear this?
No, I muted his mic so he can't hear. No, I muted the mic.
Okay. So when people tell you that you have a fear, that's definition like 1, 2, and 3 with phobia. And I'm about the words. I'm always about the words. I might pull a word out that means the same thing as the everyday usage of a word, but I'll use that other word just because I'm just so tired of using that word. I'll use the other word. So that's me. So I've already known phobia don't just mean fear. So I looked it up so I can break down some of these synonyms to phobia, because you got to be careful, because people will say you got a phobia and you think phobia is fear, because that's what the natural definition of it is. But listen to these other definitions. You've got abnormal fear, irrational fear, obsessive fear. So that's basically they saying you hate them. That's what that is. Then you got fear, dread, horror, terror, dislike, hate, loathing, a detestation, distaste, an aversion, revulsion, repulsion. See, they're basically trying to tell you that you hate these people. First, they start out with the fear with phobia, because that's what you hear, like arachnophobia and vistophobia, and that's a fear. But what phobia really means is that you hate something.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
And most people aren't going to tell you that, but when they call us homophobic, I've been called homophobic. But when they call us homophobic, they're saying that we hate gay people. They're not saying that we are in fear of gay people. They're saying that we hate. So you got to be careful with even thinking that somebody's saying that you fear gay people, because you don't fear shit. Like you said, you don't fear no man.
Right.
Anything breathing, you don't need to fear.
Right. I'm not scared. I don't hate gay people either. You know what I mean? I just got my opinion about their lifestyle. I don't hate anybody. You know what I mean, Shannon?
And see, here's the thing. For you to have to explain that, because my situation is this. Did Tony D just rip one on the air?
I had to cough, damn it.
Sneeze or cough.
Oh, okay. I
hey, roll your ass back over.
I didn't know
listen,
what that
roll
was.
your ass back over and get back on point.
Look, man. I had to lay down. I got lightheaded. I came in. I just did a stream. I just got off about hour ago.
I saw that.
But I had to come in and I had to fuck with this tincture. And when I fuck with the tincture, that shit is straight. It goes in your nostrils, and I got lightheaded because I've been throwing my mask on, fucked around, and I was talking to the folks upstairs and fucked around and didn't put my mask on, man. And I inhaled that shit for like 15 minutes, just, because I was getting ready, I was figuring out whether we was going to do this or not. Then I did that, and I was like, oh, shit. So I laid down, and this is where I was, like, right before the cast.
I like how on my show, you can just come in and chill. I don't say nothing. Hey, as long as you're here, you can lay down, sit down. Just all I ask you to do is have some clothes on. You can do whatever.
That's all it is, too. Let's go to everybody out there.
Do whatever you want. He just, Shannon, I ain't mad at you, bro. Shannon was like, bro, I'm coming this motherfucker with the pillows, bro. I ain't mad at you. Hey, Tony, did you want to rebuttal?
And you know what?
And
these pillows, I'm going to tell you, these pillows are Izod pillows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would love to tell you that I got these motherfuckers because I like nice shit now, like I could MTV Cribs it and shit, like these Izod motherfuckers.
I'm about to get on you.
Go ahead, Tony.
You came up here with pillows.
These motherfuckers literally, actually it's the pillowcases, not the pillows.
I was about to say, you got pillows or no pillowcases with your ghetto ass, but I respect it.
It's the pillow. It's the real. Now, the pillow is a charcoal pillow. The ones that stay cool all the time.
That's why you choking. You can't breathe. Now get to the point.
Is your kid gone? Is your kid gone?
He over there in the corner. I got my headphones on. I dare you. Bring your ass.
All right. I don't want him hearing I'm cussing out his daddy right now. Hold on.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
So,
information man in the building. Go ahead, man.
What's up,
I
man?
literally just.
Oh, God.
I want you to be careful with that phobia shit because I think it's a bait. I think when they say this shit, I think they mean hate versus fear.
It is a bait. I would agree to that.
I'm not even gonna lie. That's what and I'm gonna bring Tony in after this because he ain't spoke yet. I'm not even gonna lie, Shannon. I don't even talk to them people like that. Unless it's Eleanor or somebody like that tell me I'm gay or whatever, and I know she's cool. Eleanor's fine, bro. Man, she one of the few gay people or anybody else on here that I've discussed that I talk to. Anybody else, and it's a lot of them in the wrestling communities, gay. That's a lot of the fans in the wrestling community now. So I'm always around them. They easily trigger, easily offended. They don't know how to take a joke. I always tell them, if you got something to say to me, write it on some paper or type it. I ain't about to fall into your word mafia trick shit. You better write it on some paper. I don't got nothing to say to you other than that. Type it or write it. I ain't about to talk to these people. Go ahead, Tony.
All right.
So
your original topic is your original topic, the LGBT definition, and
it's just open. It's open to whatever. We just started off with that. This ain't the topic. We just went with that. We're gonna go into guns and all this other shit too.
We had that conversation. I've had that conversation with both of y'all more than once, and I always do look at the definition. Being that I'm in the union on my job, and we got to look at the equal rights and equal opportunities, I had to look into what it really was. Now the letters changed from when I originally saw it, and I was just telling Brother Shannon the other night what 2 Qs meant, because I didn't know about that until somebody told me. Now, the asexual aspect, I got to look at that again, but I was thinking like Brian was originally. Asexual means you self-reproducing, which I was like, oh, hell no, and I'm not falling for that, so I had to look up and see what they were saying. They got their definitions of how they want to define themselves, and that's fine. That's all good. We all got slang for each other within ourselves and our communities and our cultures. I don't have a problem with that. Now, I'm careful on how I talk to a bunch of them, and I'm careful on how I come across to them. Not so much the sensitivity, but the way that they're defining themselves, and given they have their civil liberties now. To me, legally, they are running shit because there's new legislation. There's a new understanding that everybody has to educate themselves in their aspect to get along in society or to get anywhere in business. And I'm seeing it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to trust it. It's happening. It really is. You can't go against them like we used to in the 70s and 80s. And I admit I used to go against them, but I stopped a long time ago.
Okay.
When I was meeting a bunch of them who wasn't a problem. Because we all grew up that they was that way and it was a problem. I meet people who actually were themselves. They just chose that way. They wasn't trying to coerce nobody. They're just being themselves. I was like, okay, cool. So I started trying to figure out what's going on. I started looking at their aspect of life. We got to realize a lot of the harassment they went against, not only do some of us deal with it or give it, some of us get harassed in a different aspect the same way they do.
2 things, Tony, because you made a good point. Let me add 2 things to what you said. You just made a really good point. I'm going to bring the panel back in.
Yes.
2 things. I'm okay. Like I said, you do whatever you want. My 2 things with the LGBT plus community, and I'm not talking about everybody. I love Eleanor to death. Eleanor's cool. People like
Eleanor's family, period.
Absolutely. But this is the 2 issues I got with their constituents. They think they can be disrespectful whenever they want to. And then when you whoop their ass, they go back into that, oh, I'm this and that, I'm a woman. I don't care if you, first of all, if you ain't got your dick cut off, you not. You still a dude with a dress on. Let's get that quick, first of all. If you talk shit, I'm gonna knock your ass out that dress. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm just saying, you're not gonna disrespect me and then try to Jedi mind trip me and flip some shit on me. If you talk shit with that dress and your legs, your calf muscles bigger than mine, and I know you're a dude, I know what a dude look like. I'm knocking your ass out. Simple. You're not going to disrespect me. The second thing is, all I ask them to do is give respect to black people. Y'all hijacked the civil rights movement from us, and you don't give us enough credit.
Yeah, that's the other aspect
of the game. Latinos and disrespecting us. Fuck all that. Kiss the ring, bro. We helped y'all get there. You know what I mean? Now I ain't gonna lie. The gay community come through and hold it down. Black Lives Matter will start with about 2 or 3 black gay girls. I'm cool with that. All I ask them to do is don't be switching it on. Don't be black on weekends and then be doing compromise and shit behind our back on weekday. I don't like stuff like that. Either you with us or you ain't. That's all I ask.
They got their own movement. No, I don't even put them with us. They got their own movement. I don't put them with us. Well, the
government there, because they put them under the civil rights movement, which was designed for black people.
That's my point. The government did that. The government did that. They didn't that I know of. The government.
But they taking the benefits though. They take
Yes,
the
they are.
benefit
Yes, they
and trying
are.
to make it
And
seem like, oh, it was for us. No, it wasn't. It was started for black people.
we
That's
got
all
that.
I ask them to do is be respectful. That's it.
We got
I don't
that.
got no
We
problem
got
with what you do. Yeah, you feel what you think, Shannon? Or Brian, you ain't saying no. Go ahead, Brian. Then Shannon.
Yeah, let Brian.
No, I mean, I mean, it's a cool. I mean, you live your life how you want to live it. I just don't like it being crammed down my throat. I don't want to force fed. It's like you could just tell me what it is, and I'm cool with it. But don't make it seem like you're putting a gun to my head and say, live it, learn it, love it, kind of thing. That's just my thing.
I definitely.
Hold on, Tony.
I definitely agree there. How old are you, Brian?
40.
Okay, so Brian's 40. I'm 51. Tony, you're right there in the middle. TJ, you're much younger than us,
30.
right?
I'm 30.
All right, so I got 21 calendars on TJ. What do I got on you, about 8, Tony? What are you, 40, 41?
I'm 48.
Oh, you are 48. Okay. Why do I say 42? Why do I think 42?
Because he looked young. He looked young.
Yeah, because he shaved. He shaved and yeah.
Oh, that's what he did. Okay. Okay. So he's closer to me. Okay, so we're in the same demo. We're in the same. We would have went to high school together.
Pretty much.
So our situation is this. In our generation,
yes,
we grew up with every goddamn body.
Yes.
We knew there was a few people that was a little different than the norm.
Yeah.
But them motherfuckers played sports and everything.
They did.
They did everything. They didn't ostracize. They weren't ostracized from doing shit. They was right with everybody. So all this, what do they call it now? DEI?
What's that?
The inclusion shit?
Okay.
Gay people been included. Gay people been included. Politics excluded them. Not black people. Not any other. And whose politics ran by? White supremacists.
Right.
Facts.
But we are made the black sheep of all this shit. Yes. I mean, we attacked Asians, we attacked gays, we attacked this person. We are the most forgiving people on this planet, and the most easy to get along with people on this planet. But we get all that shit. And when it came to the gays, that's where I kind of just went off the hinges, because I'm thinking to myself, I have known I've got 3 gay cousins. But in the family, we didn't look at them as gay. We didn't look at them as gay. They were just our cousins. It wasn't my gay cousin. And in life, I don't think they were even looked at as gay people. They were just people. And I didn't hear about all this shit getting publicized until you started seeing the flag and seeing all this other shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had bars in Ann Arbor. Everybody knew that was a gay bar.
Right.
But it wasn't like motherfuckers stood outside of it throwing tomatoes at the gay people going in the gay bar. People weren't getting their tires slashed and all kinds of shit at the gay bar.
I gotta jump in on that one. I gotta admit
that might be a generational thing, but go ahead, Tony, because my dad and them used to call them. They used to call them. They'd say they was what's the word? They use the word sissy a lot. Oh, that's the sissy spot, or the sissies. So maybe it's a generational. I don't know. I mean, I agree with you though. I always never looked at them different. Being gay back then wasn't so talked about. We just accepted. Okay, he's gay. Don't let him live his life. Now it's just like they all in your face. But you better kiss the ring. I'm gay, and what you got, man? I ain't saying nothing about you. You know what I mean?
I'm a hold to that. Let Tony do his thing and let B come in on that. But I want to talk about the sissy thing after they say their thing.
That'll work. Go ahead, Tony.
I gotta admit that I've seen a different side of it. I will admit that they got bullied. I will admit they've been harassed. I will admit they have been jumped. I will admit they have been talked about. I will admit that I have seen all of this shit happen. I gotta go ahead and say it. It has happened. Families have left their family members that was gay. Everybody sat back and tried to turn them back. Being straight, what Eleanor said is true. Queers have been having straight shoved down their throats forever, from what I've seen. Now, Brother Shannon, you gave an aspect, and that's cool. I've heard and I've seen that as well.
And I don't want to be misinterpreted. I don't want to be misinterpreted or misunderstood in any way. Absolutely, I saw marginalization growing up. I mean, even though Ann Arbor is one of the most liberal towns, it's kind of like a Berkeley, they say, you know. So we would have our gay, but we had our gay acceptance, but there are also people who shunned it. That's why I want to talk on what TJ said. Okay. You know, and you'll understand once I go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, the biggest thing, stop boy. The biggest thing was I know a lot of what they went through, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Elementary, junior high, high school, yeah, we was kids and everybody picked on each other, but still, even in college, I saw it. Sports, you know we saw it in sports. When T.O. called out Jeff Garcia, it caused a rift. So the fight for them to have civil liberties, I do think it is justified for them to have any civil liberties whatsoever, period, point blank and flat out, because you don't really see much defense in their favor. Now that they finally have some defense, I'm not mad at them for coming out so hard, but I'm with Brian. I don't want to shove down my throat. It is all over TV, regardless of the fact that it needs to be shown for the ones who are living it, and they got to do something for the people who have been going through that abuse. I'm not necessarily mad about that, but there is a point where we feel like it's being shoved down our throat, and we're going to sound old school to the
people that's younger than me.
Well, the homosexual community. Let me say the homosexual community. I'm not going to say the LGBT, all that shit. Let me just say the homosexual community. And for the people up here who are LGBT or homosexual, please tell me if that is a derogatory statement. I want to clear that shit up too. The homosexual community, to me, deserves some type of justification. They do deserve some type of liberation. They do deserve some civil liberties. They finally got the law on their side when they didn't have the law on their side in the first place. Sexual orientation was just implemented on EEOs maybe 10 years ago. They got to have something because they have fought hell. Let's be clear.
Well, I just want to add,
go ahead.
Real quick, Tony. I want to add something to what you said. You said they don't get the support. I think they get really good support. Specifically, I can't speak for everybody else. Specifically, Black women support gay people like no other.
Yeah, we've been seeing it all our lives.
Black women have always been
seeing it all our lives.
Of gay people. So I just want to add everything else you said. I agree with. I just want to add Black women have absolutely no. Generally speaking, unless they kind of old school, probably grew up in like a real strict Christian home or something. I've never seen Black women, and there's nothing wrong with it. Generally speaking, Black women just they hang out with them. They be like, oh, that's my the B word, that's my B and all that. You seen the gay guy come in. He dressed to the nines. He got the. Even if he not, what's the word I'm looking for? Even if he don't appear to look like a woman, you seen a gay guy, he come in, he all him and your sister or something, hey, B and all that. You know how that is. All of us seen that before. Black women have always been accepting of gay guys. Always.
And even in the church, they accept the homosexuals to try to let it be in the house of the Lord. And I got no problem with that.
And we're going to have to holler at the ladies about that too. Not because
the ladies do need to
y'all calling yourselves the B word. Y'all got to stop doing that. If y'all want men to respect y'all got to stop saying I'm the B and I don't like none of that. Call yourself a nice, respectable young lady. If you don't want to say queen, stop calling yourselves the B word and then ask for respect. That's not. You can't have it both ways like that.
TJ trapped in a 30-year-old man's body. TJ 57.
Everybody always told me I thought a little old, Shannon. After people always
I mean, you got old values, which ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right. I grew up, my dad was just old school like that. My grandparents too.
Let me just go ahead and tell you that women calling themselves that, we got to leave that to just them. We don't need to say it. It's like when Black folks call each other the N-word, y'all leave that shit to us. Don't y'all fucking say it. Go ahead and tell you. Y'all better leave that shit alone.
I ain't gonna lie though, Tony. We need to keep that. I'm okay with us saying it, but keep that in our house. That don't got no place at the job, places of business. I can see
we all slip up and do it. I agree.
I
don't like playing music with this shit in there around people because I don't want them going around saying it. They get comfortable hearing the music, they start saying it. We can't even fight them off of that shit because it's out
so keep that in the crib.
Made me stop going to karaoke. Made me stop going to karaoke.
Because I don't want to hear N-word all the time. I get what you mean, but I don't want to hear that all the time. You know what I mean? Like you got to have a vocabulary. I don't want to hear that all day. Brian, go ahead. Like you've been chomping for a while. Go ahead, Brian.
No, it was just. I mean, like, grown up. Okay, like for those that do know me, I am half Asian, and the deep root of.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm half Asian.
Let me blow the screen up.
I'm half Thai. So
hold on, Brian.
Oh man, I love Thai food, dog.
Yeah, I do too. A lot of people think
I eat drunken rice all the time.
A lot of people also think Brian
is Chinese.
He is not. Brian is not Hispanic, so I want to clear that. Brian's part Irish.
It's a no Thai in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, drunken noodles, drunken rice. That's a Chinese thing.
Okay, I just heard.
What about nogi rolls?
Nogi rolls? That's Japan. That's Japanese.
Brian. So basically, No Tie just done grifted from every Asian collective and made a menu.
We are our own civilization. Thank you very much.
Okay, so here's the thing. Do y'all do hot food?
Yes.
So, okay, the shit I get is called Yoga Flame. Is that Thai?
Yoga Flame?
Oh, hell, that's probably Korean. He done told me Chinese, Japanese, that's probably Korean.
Shannon.
Ain't shit I'm eating Thai.
Hey, Shannon, that could be an Americanized version of Thai food because, like, I always thought orange chicken was Chinese food. It's not. That's Americanized Chinese food. Even though Chinese people, Andrew and Peggy, founded Panda Express in California, though. But they know Americans like food, fried food with syrup sauce. They created that for American people. Chinese people don't eat orange chicken. That's American people.
Are you trying to tell me the Chinese people got together and created a diabetic meal for us?
Yeah,
they hate us
that's
too.
exactly what they did. They know Americans like shit with syrup and that's fried. They know that. Shannon, would they be wrong? All you see
these motherfuckers trying to kill us too.
Hey, I ain't mad at them for trying to make $1. They gonna these motherfuckers go eat this shit anyway. I might well sell it to them. Am I wrong? But let's let Brian clean that up real quick, y'all, so he don't lose that thought.
So anyway, like my mom is from Thailand, and that's a third world country, but the deep root of that is Polynesian. And growing up as a kid, I already knew what was gay, what was lesbian, and all this other shit. Because in the Polynesian culture, in a household of, if it's just like select boy, like if it's like nothing but males in the house, one of them has to be selected as a female. It's a taboo culture kind of thing, but it's like in the Polynesian culture. So one of my mom's friends.
Yeah. I'm on a stream. What you need?
You gotta love this. I love this.
Go ahead,
Say one more time.
Go ahead.
So one of my mom's friends, like we went over to her house, and the neighborhood was like all nothing but Cambodian and Vietnamese and Chinese. It's a little apartment neighborhood. And there was like this one person that was pretty much what the Cambodians call a katoi, which is pretty much a guy that's like a drag queen. He's like a drag queen, but really being a woman, you know. But they call that a katoi. And the
lot of it or not?
It was a lot.
Okay.
And then in Samoan, like in Samoa, they call him the papafini. So that's pretty much like the drag queen, the transgender of the bunch.
Let me slow you down so I can make sure I understand, Brian. Hold on. And this, I'm only slowing you down because I got to understand this. So I just found out that K-pop is kind of an effeminized type culture. Is that the Thailand's version of K-pop?
K-pop is Korean.
No. That's what I know that. I'm asking you is what you just explained to me. Is that the Korean or the Thai version of K-pop? Is what I'm asking. Because I think that's part of K-pop culture too. I understand
that's new to me, but from what I knew, from what I understood growing up, is that in the Polynesian culture and Asian culture, that those that have that are male dominant, like one of them wants to transition into a female.
Are you
so
serious?
already
is that some new stuff, or that's always been part of the culture?
It's always been part of the culture.
Wow.
Okay. That's
so I came across that at 6 years old. So it's like I'm already like whatever. I'm numb to it. So that's what I'm just saying. Like when people talk about, oh yeah, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Don't bother me none. But it's just like whenever they're like how nowadays, how it's like strongly advertised and all this other stuff, I'm just like, okay, enough. We get it.
Brian, you see what Rochelle just said in the comment?
I dated a Samoan. He talked about what Brian has explained. Yeah, see?
Yeah, somebody from over is know better than we will.
The Thai people.
Yeah.
Brian, real quick, one last question, and I want to push forward. So the Thai people are considered Polynesian. I wasn't aware that
we're deep rooted, because if you look at the travel maps, I mean, that's why you think when you look at the Filipinos, Guam, Indonesians, we all look alike.
Okay.
Cambodian, Laos, Burmese, we all look alike. So if I went down to Indonesia, I would pass as a local. If I went down to America Samoa, I would pass as a local. If I went down to Guam, I would pass as a solo because look at my size.
Texas, for whatever reason, they think you Mexican. Ain't this some fucked up shit, Brian?
What? We're neighbors with Mexico.
No, but you
Duh.
specifically. No, you though. They think you're Mexican in Texas, is what I'm saying. Even though you clearly not part Mexican at all, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Ain't that fucked up how Americans look at people? Now, when you said I would have went down there and people thought I was one of the locals, see, what you got to understand is, Brian, people from another culture, just like we don't like, as us as black people don't like other people saying the N-word, I can't say, oh, you look like Indonesian people. That make me racist. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I got to ask. I can't say
you could just ask, like, hey, are you part of the Polynesian culture? You can ask that. That's appropriate. I mean, hell, even when I went to Hawaii, when I had long hair and everything, and I was walking around with like just a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops, they're asking me, hey, which island, bro? What island? And I'm like, mainland. I'm like, what? And I like Texas, and I show them my tattoo, and they're like, oh, bro, yeah, you're from Texas. You're just like one of us. We thought you were like from Maui, from Lanai, from Kauai, and all that.
I always say tribalism is scarier than racism, because even if we get rid of racism, people are always going to be tribalistic. Case in point, what Brian just said. They saw this man for a couple seconds. They already tried to adopt him as their own. Tribalism is way more powerful than racism.
I mean, yeah, during my medical field tenure, a lot of the Filipinos, like, never met them before in my life, but I could be quiet on my first day of work because I'm trying to get familiarized with everything.
Right.
And all of a sudden, who the first people to greet me? Filipinos. They come
up to me like, want that money back from the government for reparations. Don't think because I just said that we want that goddamn money. Don't get it twisted in this motherfucker.
No, man. They see. I mean, Filipinos come up to me and they're like, "Hey, we know you're one of us." And I was just like, "Really?" And I was like, "I'm half Thai." They're like, "Yeah, you're Asian." And then they said the deep root is Polynesian, just like we are. You're like one of us. So I'm like, all right. So that was everywhere I went. Filipinos took me in.
Well, Ro, you do look kind of brownish. You look kind of
it's golden delicious, brother. So golden delicious.
No, not you, Brian. I'm talking about Rochelle or whatever. We ain't gonna get into that fruity ass golden delicious shit you talking about.
Hey, man, she's golden delicious too.
Now she a little darker than that.
Okay, toasted toasted golden delicious.
Shannon, you two motherfuckers.
This nigga, this him all the time. Now go ahead and clean up that sissy thing you want to talk about before I don't want us to get too far down. You forget.
So the thing was, the term sissy was very prevalent in my upbringing too. I heard women use the term, and then I heard also men use the term, but it was almost like it was distinguishing, but it also wasn't degrading. They didn't look at it as a degrading thing, because like you heard this term in your household, sissified. That's sissified, and basically you're saying someone is being feminine. You're saying a man is being feminine, because you would never call a woman. You never say a woman, even if she's gay, you're not gonna say she's sissified.
Yeah.
So sissified was a term that was generally used for men, sissy.
Right.
And I'm sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, you go ahead and finish.
And so a lot of people didn't look at it even as a degrading term. It was like a distinguishing term. I never really heard sissy bar. I heard gay bar all the time. I heard the F word all the time. Somebody put it in the chat, but hey, look, I done got banned on Twitter twice for saying queer. After somebody said it to me, they were like, yeah, I'm queer, bam, bam, bam. And I was like, as a queer person, next thing I got blocked. They didn't get blocked saying it, but I got blocked like responding to them. I was just reciprocating commentary.
You was responding, yeah.
Huh?
You wasn't being degrading. You were just responding.
I was just responding. I was like, as a queer person, literally, I got blocked. I was like 5 minutes. I had violated. But I'm like, the conversation was what, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the conversations I had, the person had queer in their name.
That's crazy. Now let me ask you what you just said.
TJ, that's the first time you're hearing that for real?
You ain't know I was born in 1991. That's some 70s shit or something. I ain't never heard of
No,
no.
it ain't. That's some 90s shit too. God, boy, we gotta get you out the house. That shit been around forever.
Tony, I was a baby in the 90s until like 1997. I couldn't remember shit until like I was 6 in 1997.
Oh my God. I tried to teach him when he came down a couple weekends ago.
I figured you had your work cut out because I'm like,
Brian got 10 years on me. Brian got 10 years on me. That's why.
I missed something. What did Tony? What you say? You ain't never heard, TJ?
Rochelle said what a woman was called back in the days. Remember when you said women weren't called women weren't, we didn't have a real name for women as far as when they were gay, and she put down a bulldagger was in there, no offense. And TJ was like, that's the first time he heard that shit. I'm like, what?
Dude. Now that word was very prevalent too. That word was very prevalent too.
Man, OG Classic Jones was good, bro.
I mean, like my personal favorite though. I mean, other than like, other guys, for guys being tough and everything, they want to call other guys being a sissy or whatever. Yes. But my favorite was like when they're like, oh man, don't be such a pussy. And I'm sitting there going,
now that's going too far.
No, hang on. Let me clarify. I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't mind getting called a pussy because a pussy could take a beating.
Wow.
Come on, Brian.
That's a good comeback.
Hey, real quick, I just want to read one of these comments from the guy from YouTube, OG Clark. He said, what the hell? Shannon laying down like Marvin when he recorded I Want You in the Studio. Oh, shit.
Hold on a sec.
Yeah, you better see him start reading some of these damn comments. Get your ass up.
So we in the building, man.
OG Classic Jones. That's my dude right there.
But yeah, Shannon walked off. I want to say this. Hold on, Brian. I'm bringing you back in to clean that up. The whole thing with that's why I said when I talk to these people, write stuff on paper. It'll get you caught up. Write shit on paper when you talk to these people. I told a dude the other day that was talking crazy to me because it ain't like something I said on Twitter about wrestling. He was talking stupid to some. I wouldn't be scared of you and I do this and that. I said, all y'all keyboard warriors tough until I slap the shit out of you. Then you're going to be sitting there talking about I'm using microaggressions. I got suspended on Twitter for 12 hours. That was like Sunday just for saying that. And I looked in this thing like, oh, he was one of them rainbow people. That's why that happened or whatever. But he was talking to. I told him I slapped the shit out of him and I got suspended for like 12 hours.
Hey,
like, bro, y'all talk crazy. If you was in front of me, you wouldn't say that. I would slap the shit out of you.
But it didn't have anything to do with homosexuality, right?
No, I just told him he was a keyboard. I said if I slap you, one of you keyboard warriors, then you.
That was your problem right there.
Exactly. That's a threat. Aggressive. It's a threat on social media. It's a threat.
They got you with a threat.
I see.
And it's also labeled as domestic terrorism.
How is it domestic terrorism when I say I'm a
because you said you're going to do something to somebody.
Yes,
but
that's domestic terrorism.
First of all, a black person shouldn't even be used in terrorism. I get what y'all saying. I'm trying to make a joke out of this.
Yeah, go ahead.
A black person shouldn't even be used in the word terrorism. When you see motherfuckers shooting up schools and blowing shit up, do any of them people ever be black? How many black people you know that shot up schools or that blew shit up? I'm talking about black people from here. I ain't talking about them Muslims.
The Pennsylvania sniper.
I ain't talking about that.
Pennsylvania sniper. Back in 95, the random guy that was like sniping people at a grocery store, gas station.
That's the exception, not the rule. That's one for how many other colored people that shot up and blew shit up.
You talking about John Muhammad?
I think so, yeah.
He's talking about the DC sniper. He's talking about the DC sniper.
He's talking about the DC sniper. Yeah, he said the Pennsylvania sniper. There was another one.
but yeah, I'm like blowing and shooting shit up like that. Black people don't
the DC sniper.
The DC sniper.
Yeah, shoot up our own neighborhood. We ain't about to shoot no airport or no shit like that.
From where I used to live in Alabama too, because I didn't know he came through Alabama. And when they showed where it was at, he was literally 5 minutes away from where I used to live down there.
That's because you ran. Black people know how to get out of harm's way. The other motherfuckers walking to the trouble. Black people see Lisa running, we gonna goddamn run too. We don't sit there and get our ass whooped when the situation happens. That's why.
Hey, what's going on over here? Oh.
They walk into the they running into Godzilla. Speaking of which, let's transition to the guns, y'all. Let's transition to guns. Okay. I don't know if y'all got the stuff going on here where we at, but holy hell is it so many shootings. 75 people just got shot last weekend, in the weekend in Chicago. Not all of them died, but 75 people got shot. Prior to that, it was about 50. Over the 4th of July, I think it was over 100.
And just recently, 2 officers was killed. Well, one was killed, one is still wounded.
We're gonna have to dive deeper. I got different feelings about that. We'll get into that.
We had three shootings in 3 days, a mile and a half up from where I'm at right now. I feel 100% safe where I am right now. But a mile and a half up, there were 3 shootings in 3 days, and a mile up from that is our sheriff department.
So Ann Arbor is actually safe. I know it's only about 150,000 people there, if that. So it's pretty safe living in Ann Arbor, right?
For the most part, but I'm literally actually talking just east of, like, okay, so our sheriff's department, which is, our county sheriff, is at the borderline of Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti. So literally it's at the border. So then you go 1 mile over down the road, and there was 3 shootings in 3 days. I think they said they apprehended 1 person.
Okay.
This is a one-way in, one-way out apartment complex, and the sheriff's department is 1 mile away, but y'all can't find the goddamn shooter.
That sounds like some bullshit. Yeah. That sounds like some crazy bullshit.
I got my differences with our sheriff, so I don't need to really go in with that because it's a whole different stream. He's corrupt, he's fucked up. But my thing is, we've got Ypsilanti police, we've got Pittsfield police, and we've got the sheriff's department. We got the state boys that are cruising through 4 different police departments, but nobody can catch a shooter.
Facts.
And you can look through MLive and there's no evidence of the shootings. They suppress shit here to make it seem, because what is Ann Arbor? One of the safest cities to live in America.
Right. I think I remember seeing that at one time, yeah.
But it's because they don't fucking they don't detect all this shit that's going on. And when shit happens just on the other side of, right outside of Ann Arbor, then Ypsilanti gets all the stats, or Pittsfield Township gets the stats. And it's fucked up. But 3 shootings in 3 days. I get what you're saying, TJ. And that's why I said, how did guns keep getting in? Here's the thing. Fuck the guns. Fuck the guns. Where the bullets coming from?
Come on with it. Come on with it.
Where the bullets coming from? Now, they just did a whole expose on y'all top brass. The first time in history, all 3 top tier police officers are black. 3 blacks. Mayor's black.
Go. Keep going.
How come I ain't seeing no white people shooting people in their neighborhoods? Y'all got all these titles, but still black people are killing each other everywhere in Chicago.
Now let me get on Chicago with the with OG Classic Jones was just saying. How was the national headquarters of the Nation of Islam and there's that much violence? I think it's a specific side of Chicago that they're in, and the violence is happening on another side. TJ, you going to
read what I just typed. Read what I just typed on.
The gangs of Chicago follow their own rules unless the FOI is directly supporting them. They don't care about what they think, and I kind of fully understand that.
What's FOI?
Fruit of Islam.
Fruit of Islam.
Oh,
okay. Now Chicago violence has been known. Yeah, Chicago violence has been advertised, I know, for at least the past 5-6 years. And I told you this before, TJ. I used to listen to Stephen A in the afternoon on XM radio. He would always get calls from people from Chicago, and they was talking about the violence because every holiday, like 100 people got shot. And they was like, it was bad up there, and they didn't know what was going on. They was like, what should we do? And people from Chicago was calling and said, it's very bad up here. We truly need the National Guard up this motherfucker.
Now, I got a question real quick, Tony.
Yes.
Let me talk about this as a person from Chicago. The only other person here that I know of, and let me know otherwise if you're from here, is Rochelle. Rochelle's from Chicago. Other than that, I'm the rep because I live here.
Right.
This is the thing I find interesting. First of all, why they call Stephen A. Smith? Stephen A. Smith, A, is an entertainer, and B, is from New York. Why they asking from New York about Chicago?
I thought he's from Philly.
No. Stephen A. was doing his show, and he would cover it, and the callers would call in.
He's from the Virgin Islands.
Oh,
he's from. Everybody would call from all over. He's from the Bronx. He's born in the Bronx. His family was.
But he's Caribbean. He's Virgin Islands or something.
Okay. Maybe he ain't a descendant. That's probably his descendant from. But let me say this about the Chicago crime, and I've said
you can look at his hairline. You can look at his hairline and tell he's not a freedman.
Why you frying that man like that, Shannon? Why you frying that man like that? Come on, Shannon. He gonna have him coming up on here. So what you don't understand, brother? That he gonna be calling in.
He kind of got that Peebo pushback. He got that Peebo pushback.
He definitely got like a Caribbean or something like that look to him. He got that Caribbean hairline, because Carlos Colon hairline was like that too. But
he could have easily been named Cleophas, easily.
Of all the motherfucking names, you name this man the most countryest motherfucking name, Cleophas.
Right.
No, wait a minute. Cleophas is a Caribbean name.
Is it? I thought that was some southern ass broken.
You look up Cleophas.
Thunderbird or some shit.
You say Cleophas, not Cletus.
Not Cletus. Cleophas.
They sound the same to me. But go ahead, Cheddar.
So, where we at? What am I at? I've been listening, but I've been trying to keep up with the chat too.
Big ups to Anthony
Davis for that stat. Oh shit, I did not know that.
Damn. What happened? What I missed?
I knew that. Yeah. I knew that.
99% of all bullets for the military are produced by the Lake City Ammunition Plant, Independence, Missouri. I did not know that shit. Now, he said military. The main question was civilian. Big ups to Ant for dropping that, but where are the civilian bullets coming from? That's
real quick before we get into that, let me wrap up the Chicago thing. Then we're going to jump on it. I did know about that, by the way. I knew it was somewhere near St. Louis. So let me say this. Chicago is a very large city. It's 2.7 million people who live in Chicago. We're the third largest city behind California and New York. This is something that people got to understand. For the size of Chicago, the crime is not as bad as the news make it seem for the city this size. Now, St. Louis, Gary, Indiana, motherfucking East St. Louis, Birmingham, Alabama, cities like that with less than 1 million people, they crime is out of control. That's almost like a motherfucking war zone when you got less than 1 million people. So Chicago, another thing, Chicago crime is this way because we're very neighborhood based, and it's been like this since the 1920s. Even when Al Capone was here, the Irish and Italians used to shoot the shit out of each other. It's just a different narrative when black people do it. It's been crime since black people couldn't do shit. You was under the thumb of everybody. Like it was no reason. A lot of people don't understand, and I'm gonna bring Shannon in because I already know he got a good point. Prior to 1964, it was no practical reason to incarcerate black people. Why? Because the average citizen can whoop your ass and control you. Prior to 1964, most of the people that was in jail was white men. Because guess what? Motherfucking Cleophas at the lunch stand can whoop you and take you back where you're supposed to go. That white dude, Max or somebody, he can beat you and take you what, you know what I mean? So It was no practical. So these are the things people got to understand when they talk about Chicago crime. For a city its size is not as bad. Now, it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't want nobody to get shot. But Birmingham and all these places, the amount of population they got for the crime they got is out of control.
When you go by the population numbers, you're correct. And Montgomery's bad. West Palm Beach, Florida's bad. Richmond was bad. All that mess. New Orleans.
And we also don't got no jobs here.
Shit,
right. The job issue was what I heard. They said the teachers and everything, the kids not going to school, all that was a big issue.
New Orleans, Metairie, Morgan City, Lafayette. That's all crazy down in Louisiana.
Yes.
Black unemployment for youth is 98%. Why do you think them kids got guns?
Exactly.
If your unemployment was not, you 16 years old, you legally able to work, and you can't get no job. And this fucking idiot Rahm Emanuel, the mayor before we got Lightfoot, y'all think Lightfoot is bad. She ain't nothing compared to that racist Jew motherfucker. And I don't got no problem with Jewish people. I love Gabby. She my co-host. But they know what they did to black people. A lot of them was good, but they know what they did to black people. Rahm Emanuel, this fool that got in there before Lightfoot, he closed 51 schools in
I heard
one
about
year.
That. Yeah.
And I live close to this neighborhood called Roseland. Look it up. I went to high school in Roseland. Look it up. It's one of the worst neighborhoods in Chicago. I live 10 minutes from it. Most of the schools that was closed was in Roseland, which is on the south side, which is why the crime is so bad. If they can't get no job, what you think they're going to do? They're going to get on the train, go up north for the money, slap somebody upside their head and take the money. Who fault is that, the kids or the city? In New York, you can get on the train.
OG Classic Jones. OG Classic Jones, I want to let you know. I used to live in Alabama.
Yeah, and even if you get a job here in Chicago,
I know how crazy Alabama is, bro. Straight up.
The train might not go where your job at. You got to travel far as fuck to get there. Whereas in New York, it's much smaller, so a letter train can take you to the next town. Is nothing. You live in motherfucker on the south side of Chicago. Your job in Evanston, that's an hour away. How you expect them to get there? And stuff can happen on the train. One of the most dangerous places in Chicago is on the red line. Rochelle could correct me on this. She's from here. Our train line, so many people get robbed. It's not as bad as it used to be, but still shit happens on the train people don't put these things in perspective when they talking about Chicago. You got to live here. Chicago is one of the most racist cities. People think the racist city down there with Brian and the shit in Texas. Chicago, it was as by the architectural design of the city is designed to be racist. All the black people are on the south and west side of town, and all the white people live up north, and the money cuts off at a certain train. And Rochelle, back me up on this. when you get on the train, everybody know where the White Sox play. That's on 35th Street. It's called 35th White Sox. That's the name of the Red Line train stop that runs north and south in Chicago. All the white people get off on the train at 35th. They never go past that. That's how you know it's designed to be racist. They even know where not to go. It's starting to open up now because they gentrifying a lot of the South Side. But it's certain parts of the South Side white people never, unless they're a teacher at a public school, they don't even step on the South Side. So that everything you're hearing about them is from TV and what somebody told them. They not out here with us.
Right.
So if you want to know about Chicago, ask me, ask Rochelle, ask Jason. We live here.
I got homeboys from up there, and I went to college with a bunch of cats from up there.
And I'm sure New York got their problems. Y'all got y'all problems in Detroit. Detroit, bro, I want to help them so bad. Detroit, we let that happen to Detroit. The people let that happen to Detroit. Our elected officials let that happen. That shouldn't even happen.
Right.
But where was we at after that? I just had to clear it up, y'all.
Nah, you good. I want to tell OG Classic Jones. He said he got people from Alabama that he know. Yeah, I lived in Tuskegee and I lived in Montgomery. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Birmingham and Mobile is not to be messed with. Montgomery is not to be messed with. I know this for a fact. Every state got a bad city. Where I'm at in Georgia right now, I'm literally the neighboring city to Macon, where I live at. Macon is off the chain. I had no idea until I moved here. Macon, Georgia is not to be messed with either. So y'all be careful of some of these rough spots. Everybody's got one everywhere they at. We hear the major cities. We hear some of the small cities. We damn sure ain't hearing all of them. But the original conversation was where the bullets coming from, like Brother Shannon said. Ain't nobody answered that yet. A little what Anthony said, they covered the military. No, we didn't create it and we ain't shipping them in. That's why it ain't our damn fault. We ain't bringing none of the bullets. We ain't bringing none of the guns. We ain't got none of the manufacturers. The shit ain't our fault. And they gave it to us, just like they did with the drugs. We'll be here all day on that. Y'all better watch that movie careful.
Let me ask this question. Rochelle is from the east side of Chicago. What they call Terror Town. A lot of the drill music that you hear, Chief Keef and all them, they from over there. Lil Herb, matter of fact, somebody that's more positive by name. What's his name? His father was he an elected official for Chicago. What's that dude name? What's that boy name? He made the Crayon Box song. Or the what's that? You don't want no problems with me.
You got the wrong demographic to be asking that shit right now.
Yeah, he damn sure do. We don't have bullshit.
No. Actually, he makes good music. What's that boy name? I can't think of him right now.
You're talking about Scrappy.
Not Scrappy. No. He's popular right now.
Chance the Rapper?
Chance the Rapper. That's what I'm talking. Chance, yeah. Chance is from over there too. But Chance the Rapper, they all from the east side of Chicago. When I tell you the reason they call it Terror Town is Terror Town because of the crime. And drill music was birthed from the crime from the east side of Chicago. That's what it comes with. That's why they say east side shit. It's a different world, even for Chicago standards. When you go over there, it just feels different. Like the way they streets made is one way in, one way out. It's designed to be trapped over there.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure the white people ain't been over there since like the 50s. When the white flight happened, they left from over there because the lake is right there. So they wanted the lake. And then when all the black people came, they moved. Because everybody wanted, because the Rainbow Beach right there on 79th Street. But anyway, Chance the Rapper, they all from over there. So they can tell you about all the stuff they go over there. It's freight trains that little kids find with fucking AK-47s with vests. How did Rondo number 9 get that bazooka? Of course he couldn't. He ain't had the papers for the rocket, so it was useless. You got to put the rocket in there, but you got to get a certain license to get that. He found a bazooka in a fucking shopping cart somewhere and was on Instagram showing it. The rapper Rondo number 9, who's from Chicago. How the hell did it get there? How would an army military bazooka get in fucking an urban community? Either they left it there or that train driver was dumb as hell and didn't lock his cargo down properly.
Right, Frida. Right.
So,
because in the street for the kids, that ain't good. Real talk.
So the freight industry, that's still pretty big. That rolls through Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So that's ain't going nowhere. It's old money. So that's just like that's just like the ports and shit. That's just like the ports, and that's all still ran by the underworld, I'm sure.
Absolutely. OG Classic Jones, you are correct. Freight trains are they don't track nothing.
Well, y'all got
to go through the freight trains.
If you from LA, y'all got that flocking going on out there. I know that because I hear YG and all them talk. Him and Kendrick, that's on the Art of Peer Pressure. Was it the Art of Peer Pressure or the other one when they was talking about the Art of Peer Pressure when they was talking about going to people's houses, snatching everything and running? That's some LA shit. That flocking, they do that out there. They might do it in Georgia too, but that's a big thing out there in LA. Y'all be robbing. Wow. I know what y'all be doing out there. Whatever. Also, you have a lot
James.
of
I see you, James.
Yeah.
James giving that real in the chat.
He said he was 1 in 5.
Yeah, you see that shit? James ain't playing around, man. Big ups to James Garland, man. That's my
Is he
dude.
white?
Yeah, he's an older white guy. He's a DJ. He does a music show up. He plays like old stuff. But you need to see what he put in the chat. He talking about Compton and Watts back before.
Yeah, he talking about Compton.
Everything went new. Yeah, he putting that mess in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, OG Classic Jones. You don't even know what you just said. You don't even know what you just said. Oh my God, he is not lying. There are so many gangbangers in the military. Y'all have no idea.
The spook who sat by the door. That's what that was about. Dude, what did dude do in the spook who sat by the door? He went there, found out how they did something, and came back and deputized the community. And
that's
Sam
an old
Green,
tactic.
look,
Yeah, that's an old tactic. I heard about that in Chicago.
From
Yeah,
the 70s. In the spook who sat. Matter of fact, he was from here. Yeah. Sam Green wrote about. Did you hear about that book, Shannon? The spook who sat by the door. If not, you got to read that, man.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't know why I can't watch the whole movie. I've attempted to watch that movie at least 5 times, and it's, my cousin always tells me it's a great movie. She read the book as well, but she told me it's a great movie, and because I'm a cinematic more person, she knows I'll do that before I'll read the book. But that's another reason, and I know more current shit that people will jump onto. So you remember American Gangster with Denzel?
Yes.
Yep.
And I don't worry about the validity of whether Frank Lewis was the mastermind or whether Frank Matthews, who was actually the military guy, who had the plug, who was overseas, because they made it look like Frank Lucas did everything. And from what I know, Frank Lucas was barely literate. And he couldn't have been the mastermind, but it is what it is. No, I don't care.
He was the main connect. He was the original connect.
But he was the original connect to a guy named Frank Matthews, who had been a military guy and who had the shit. And the reason the government was trying to fuck them up so bad was because they knew the shit was on the inside. They weren't just sending heroin back here. They were sending guns and shit back here.
Thank you.
Right.
They just showed us the heroin in the movie.
Thank you.
But they were sending artillery back here.
Thank you.
If it's coming in those fucking planes and ain't nobody stopping those planes,
thank you.
Why would he say, yeah, man, just send me 400 keys? He was like, no, motherfucker, send me some bazookas. Send me some 45s. Send me some shit I can use on the fucking street.
We can let you do your shit as long as you don't interfere with ours. Now you just answer the question.
Exactly.
Now you just answer the question. That's the answer right there.
The bullets stop everything. You can have as many guns as you want. Guns are going to come. Guns can be driven in. People can go out of state, get guns. The bullets is the key. And OG said trade shows and shit like that. Because you got to have a permit. You got to have this, you got to have that to get the gun. But them trade shows, they can't run background checks. And if you show them some dead ones, if you show them motherfuckers some dead ones, your ass got a gun.
Yep, you got everything you need. You got everything you need at that motherfucker. Yep.
That's crazy.
They about cash. And they go to those trade shows 2-3 days over a weekend. They have a policy, no return policy.
Yep.
That means they don't want to return home with them guns.
Final.
That's right. Once you buy it, it's yours. We don't know shit else.
It's yours.
Yep.
So that's where that shit really comes. But the bullets, to keep replenishing bullets, that shit has to be coming in a certain way. And the police, look, man, the police can stop a lot of shit. They can stop the influx of bullets. I think it's got to go through the Chicago Police Department. I think the influx of bullets is coming through the Chicago Police Department.
Oh, yeah, it is. People got to understand Chicago is one of the biggest hubs for delivery, transport. We right in the center of the country, so everything comes through it. Drugs come through it, guns. That's why we got a large airport. You ever heard of O'Hare? That's why people said it was one of the biggest airports in the world at once, because everything comes in. Even it's this YouTube video channel y'all got to check out. His name is Trap Geek. He talk about a lot of this type of stuff. Max O'Cream, who from where Brian at? He from down there in Houston. Max O'Cream is one of the most smart, intelligent business drug dealers I've ever seen in my life. He's a rapper, but his dad used to be an engineer. He was a mechanical engineer. He taught him how to do math, how to weigh stuff and all that. He worked with gangs from New York, Chicago, wherever, Texas. He was talking about how everything is centralized to Houston. It comes up through Atlanta, then it goes to Chicago, because Chicago is the hub that goes to Europe. It goes up to Canada. It goes to Asia.
It goes everywhere. It's international.
It's very convenient shipping the way it's set up. That's why it's a big travel hub in Chicago. So they get all type of drugs and shit come through all the time that you don't even know what it is. But let me show y'all this video real quick that's interesting about that bazooka thing I was telling you about. It's real short. And then I want to get a lot of y'all opinions on this. This dude Trap Geek, he make He like Middle Eastern or something. He makes really good videos. I like dude stuff. Let's see what my thing at here. Here we go. We're gonna put that full screen real quick. This is really interesting. He's gonna talk about how Rondo number 9 got that bazooka up in.
About the situation.
OG Classic Jones, that's a heavy statement you got right there. I see you, bro.
All right, what is up, everybody? We got to talk about the situation in Chicago that is infamous. It's a moment in history, and that's the time that an anti-tank rocket launcher was found in the streets of Chicago, and the whole city damn near had a panic attack. Now, this story takes place in 2013, 2014, right at the height of the Chicago drill scene. This is when Chicago was coined as Chirac. And the reason they called it Chirac was because the death toll in the city was climbing up so high that it resembled the death toll of American soldiers fighting overseas in the Middle East, in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, the fact that Chicago adopted this name Chirac, and it just so happens that a bazooka, a rocket launcher, was found in Chicago during the same time. That's some sick shit. So in 2013, the Chicago police had received intel that somebody in the 3rd District of Chicago had gotten their hands on an
a rocket launcher. Not just one, but 2. Shocking? Not the police. We've seen it before.
But before we get into this video, I have to give a big shout out to today's sponsor, and that's the awesome team over at Great. Go to their website, check them out. Now back to because at the time, Rondo was posting to Instagram a bunch of photos with him holding what seemed to be a rocket launcher. And these photos were getting a lot of attention online from fans, from civilians, but also from the government, right? They were watching. In fact, the police had been collecting an archive of photos of all these different Chirac rappers with these exotic weapons, Tommy guns, semi-automatic rifles, and of course, this one with Rondo holding a goddamn bazooka. This led the police to create an entirely new unit dedicated to building an infrastructure online of researchers that were using AI to basically figure out all these different slangs and gang codes that were being used on social media. The goal was to stop them in their tracks before the aggression became deadly. The murder rate kept increasing, bodies were dropping every day, and there was one specific red zone. Now, you might be wondering, how do you actually get your hands on a rocket launcher in the US? Well, it's really not that hard. Now, the rocket launcher that Rondo was in possession of is actually called an AT-4. Now, these were built in Sweden, but mainly used by the American military to give soldiers a means to destroy armored vehicles or fortifications in the Middle East, right? This was used in the Afghan war, and the reason the military loved these weapons at first was because they were extremely easy to use. You basically pull them out of the package, aim through the sights, take the safety off, pull the trigger, and boom, shit explodes. But the same way that these AT-4s were extremely mobile and extremely practical for people to pull out and fire and keep moving, was also that you could only fire it once. It only came with one unit of ammunition, and after that, the launcher was pretty much useless. You discarded it. These launchers were extremely cost-effective and cheap. You could buy one of these for $1,500. Now, what's crazy in America, you can actually buy a rocket launcher without a background check, without a 4473. But each projectile, basically the thing that blows up, is considered a destructive device in America, and it requires a specific tax stamp from the ATF. And the going rate for these is $200 and extremely difficult to get. And usually you're put on a waiting list for 4 to 12 months. So while it's highly unlikely, there are rare instances where someone could actually have a bazooka with the rocket and is able to shoot. So when the police came across these photos of Rondo holding this AT-4 anti-tank rocket launcher, they posted a bulletin, they let people in the neighborhood know, and they also made plans to go intervene, track down Rondo number 9, and get to the bottom of it. Now, we don't know the specifics of what happened, but of course Rondo took to Twitter and he posted basically angry that people were blowing up his spot. He was even saying, right, like, who the fuck would do something with a rocket launcher? He was pretty mad that these photos of him with a bazooka were getting a lot of attention. Don't post a photo with you in a rocket launcher then, my guy. Now, we don't really know what happened. Eventually, Rondo ended up deleting the photo of him with the rocket launcher, but shortly after, another photo surfaced, and a different rapper known as P. Rico posted a photo to Instagram of a rocket launcher leaning up on his door. We don't know if it's the same one, but clearly there's a connect in Chicago that's hooking people up with rocket launchers. Now, when it comes down to it, if he could have used the rocket launcher or not, really kind of stupid anyways. The rocket launcher would have been highly ineffective. Most people in the States who carry guns don't know how to fire it anyways. Most people could not shoot a boat. So I don't know what the purpose when you're walking around the south side of Chicago with a bazooka, like, it's just It's not effective unless you're aiming to, take out someone's grandma's place or something. It's kind of pointless. But for real, it was probably just a prop, right? It was something to post on the Instagram, like, look, I got a fucking rocket launcher. I mean, he's got a song called Taliban, so he's probably just trying to stick with the brand. And of course, this was good promo for Rondo. All the blogs picked it up. His music videos were doing millions of views. But unfortunately, in 2014, Rondo and another rapper known as C-Day were charged in the murder of a cab driver, where they basically pulled up to his cab and they shot him 7 times. And now Rondo is currently serving 39 years in prison for that murder. So the lesson is, while the bazooka may not have been deployed to destroy, it definitely was an illustration of what was going on in Chicago at the time and how bad it got.
Let me show y'all one more quick thing, and I'm gonna ask y'all something about something, because this all this stuff kind of connected.
That was a hell of a video. I ain't gonna front. That's a real. That was a real
video. Do a good job. His video is called Trap Geek. He like a Middle Eastern cat or something. He an interesting cat or whatever. He do a lot with hip hop music and shit too. Or whatever. Let me show. I want to show you a specific part from this or whatever. Brian, where is this at? Because I might have showed you this before. What is that in Houston?
And this story,
we gotta go to
Southwest Texas, just inside Houston, to a place called
A-Leaf.
That's where Big Maxo Cream.
A-Leaf, god damn it.
I
told you Maxo Cream from Houston. I told you from out there. Yeah, Maxo a smart dude.
Dude, that's like 20 minutes from me right now.
I knew Brian. I was like, Brian gonna know because Brian from H-Town, so I know you're gonna know what that's. Hold on, check this out.
Quick, yeah. When you come back, like if you do decide to come back, I'll show you A-Leaf.
They can sell the product in Houston as opposed to transporting themselves to New York and selling it there. That's all they're looking for.
Now, if we're looking at Big Maxo Cream, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at the primary color that he wears in most of his photos. You know exactly what he's repping.
He's
a
GD color.
Interview with Vlad.
Crips.
GD in Chicago.
I thought GDs were black.
Yeah. The thing that I keep seeing
and Crips too.
52 Uber Gangster Crips.
Yeah. That's really what they're repping out there.
Yeah, that's what we banging, but that's the set. But we still go out feel street. You know what I'm saying? Like my shit is Foreign Park. You know what I'm saying? 10 Foreign Park Crip.
Maxo's still in his 20s, but he emanates this OG persona. I mean, for one, he's a big fella. He's big, but not just that, he's a big personality. But something people don't know is Maxo's real good with numbers. His grandfather was a civil engineer. His dad came to Texas from Nigeria and was super smart too. Maxo had no idea what his father was doing to make money until one day the feds came, knocked down the door with a bunch of canine dogs, and they brought his dad in on some fraud charges. His dad was able to keep most of that shit a secret, but he was always driving around in AMG S500s, beautiful luxury cars.
I was looking gangster. God damn.
Maxo's father was very strict.
I want to shout
did not want his speed distribution.
This is the important part.
Even black, white, you name it, is super diverse. But places that Maxo Cream talks about vividly in his music, like Foreign Park, Spice Lane, Bissonnette, these places are about as dangerous.
Bissonnette.
Yes,
damn it.
That's good. And from what I understand, Houston is a super interesting city. Several decades ago, you had syndicates from California, like the Crips and the Bloods, actually migrate all the way over to Houston to set up shop. Since it's close to the Mexican border, they could start getting drugs wholesale from suppliers in Mexico and create distribution lines. You even got Chicago gangs like the Black Disciples and the Vice Lords that moved down from Illinois down there.
My blocks, you know what I'm saying, like the block of grandma, like Spice, like Foreign Park, them was BD blocks. You know what I'm saying, Black Disciples. Around, I guess, like 99.
BD's in Chicago
came in, mixed with like the Houston gangs and Houston cliques too, you feel me?
Many people don't know that Houston is a big distributor, man. It supplies Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, New York, Philadelphia.
All these guys are in it for the money. And if they can form partnerships, the sources of supply in Mexico can find people that can move their product and they can sell the product in Houston as opposed to transporting themselves to New York and selling it there. That's all they're looking for.
Now, if we're looking at Big Maxo Cream, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at the primary color
so
that
I'm gonna
he
stop
wears.
That. What y'all think about this whole rocket shit and the connections, all this drug stuff, and just how they know all this stuff and they don't do nothing? What you think?
You get to connect. You get to connect. You make the money. You buy what you want afterwards. They show that more than anything.
Shannon, you still with us?
I'm still with you. I locked up. I don't know what happened, but I was listening to the video.
We can still see
you. My screen froze, and I can't see like us all in the grid anymore, like I could before.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all got to troubleshoot for that?
No, what you gotta do is you gotta come down and come back up. What happened is your screen locks up on your phone. Mine does it all the time.
You just refresh.
Yeah, you can just drop down, come back up. It's gonna.
Oh, okay. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, I mean,